The following is a class on the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, chapter number 16, text number 25, given by His Grace Sriman Sankarshan Das Adhikari, recorded on August 30th, 2009, in Sofia, Bulgaria.
So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, chapter 16, text number 25. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yang vanayordamamaddhisya bhavan vedate. Vrittim nuvatadanuman mahinirvyalikam. Asmasuvaya yuchito diyatang sadando. Yenagasova yama yungshamahi kibhashena. Yang vana yorda mama disha bhavan vedate. Vritting nuvata danuman mahi nirvyalikam. Asmasuvaya uchito diyatang sadando. Ye nagasova yama yungshamahi kilbishena. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. O Lord, whatever punishment you wish to award to these two innocent persons, or also to us, we shall accept without duplicity. We understand that we have cursed two faultless persons. Purport. The sages and the four Kumaras now reject their cursing of the two doorkeepers, Jai and Vijay, because they are now conscious that persons who engage in the service of a Lord cannot be at fault at any stage. It is said that anyone who has implicit faith in the service of a Lord, or who actually engages in transcendental loving service, has all the good qualities of the demigods, and therefore a devotee cannot be at fault. If sometimes it is found that he is in error by accident or by some temporary arrangement, that should not be taken very seriously. The cursing of Jai and Vijay is here repented. Now the Kumaras are thinking in terms of their position in the modes of passion and ignorance, and they are prepared to accept any kind of punishment from the Lord. In general, in dealing with devotees, we should not try to find faults. In Bhagavad Gita also it is confirmed that the devotee who faithfully serves the Supreme Lord, even if found to commit a gross mistake, should be considered a sadhu or saintly person. Due to former habits, he may commit some wrong. Because he is engaged in the service of the Lord, that wrong should not be taken very seriously. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jatan Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Zavadutam Purijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha. So, the four Kumaras, they found fault with Jai and Vijay. And they cursed them. Now they are lamenting that we should have not have spoken so quickly. We should have used more discretion. Now they realize that Jai and Vijay actually are not punishable. And they are feeling that we are the ones who are punishable now for having cursed them. Even if there is some slight error in the part of a devotee, he is still considered saintly. Of course, one should not take this as license to do all nonsense. That I'm a devotee, therefore I'm saintly. Even if I do something sinful, it's okay. No, you can't go around intentionally committing mistakes out of some, false pride and then think you're still a devotee. But one who is sincerely engaged in devotional service, even if there's sometimes some mistakes in his service, he is still considered saintly. That is the point. You see, there's a fault-finding propensity that we have. Just like the Kumaras, they manifested the fault-finding propensity. The fault-finding propensity is a fault. We should not be so eager to find faults with the devotee. As a matter of duty, the superior devotees have to point out the faults of the juniors. That's something different. That is done in a mood of loving service. Actually, the spiritual master who does not correct his disciples, he is their enemy. The father and mother who do not correct their children, they are the enemy of their children. So there is an obligation to sometimes point out the faults of one's juniors. But this does not open the door for fault-finding propensity. Fault-finding propensity is in the mood of false egotism, envy. That you want to cut somebody else down so that you can move ahead by stepping on their head. Just like in the corporate world, that is a very common activity, that people try to move up in the corporate ladder by finding fault with others. So we should not bring that into ISKCON. Our mood is to become servants of the servants of the servants of the servants of the servants. We're not interested in becoming big lords here. We are satisfied to serve the Supreme Lord, Krishna. In other words, the lording it over propensity is what has brought us into this material existence to begin with. So if we carry the lording it over propensity into our spiritual life, that is a big mistake. We have to cultivate the opposite mood, being the servant. And then we will not make the mistake of this fault-finding mood. As we read the other day, the devotees should be worshipped. So if we take this worshipful, respectful mood toward the devotees, this will protect us from falling down into the fault-finding mood. In other words, sangat sanjayate kama. We require the association of devotees. One's consciousness is developed according to the company that they keep. So we have to be able to associate very nicely in the company of devotees throughout the whole life. In other words, as soon as we give up the association of the devotees, we become degraded. But in that association, we are protected. But how to remain in that association? If we are fault finders, we will want to give up that association in due course of time. So there is nothing more dangerous for one's spiritual progress than the fault-finding propensity. So we really have to bring it under control. It's born out of envy. So we should not be envious of devotees. Even if I disagree with devotee, I still have to respect him, that he is a devotee. I should never have a negative attitude towards devotees. That's the point. So I can ask now if there's any questions. Yes.
I have heard that the devotional service is like a marathon.
Marathon?
Marathon.
Jai.
And one must invest so much of his powers, so he will be able to stand up till the end.
Yes.
Но съчуваното в маратони има такива хора, които са поставени нарочно да бягат началото по-бързо, за да могат да поддържат високо темпо, за да се постигне победа.
But I also have heard that in marathon running there are such people that they are leading in the ahead of the whole body of runners. So they must run with a higher speed, so to keep the running of others behind them.
Yes.
Понеже всъщност, в крайна сметка, всички искаме победа. За Бог Чайтаня, искаме да бягаме по-бързо. Тези хора може да изгорят.
And finally, because all of us, we want victory for Lord Chaitanya, those people in the lead, they may burn sometime.
Yes. Yes.
They will not be able to run till the end.
Какво да правят?
Not necessarily.
Не задължително да стане.
Why not? Why not be a stellar Vaishnava?
Те трябва да тогава спечелят първото място с това.
In this way, they must win the first place if they run ahead.
If someone thinks I have to always be the top devotee, there's nothing wrong.
Ако някой мисли, че аз трябва винаги да съм най-добрия предан отдаден,
You cannot kill the competitive spirit.
Не можеш да убиеш този дух на съревнование.
Prabhupada told me that I remember I used to be very envious of my godbrothers who had his personal association.
Прабхупад ми каза, защото аз спомням, че аз много завиждах на моите духовни брати, които имаха неговото лично общуване.
I was in a remote preaching center and Prabhupada never came there.
Аз бях в един отдалечен проповеднически център и Прабхупад никога не идваше там.
Sometimes we would travel to another center and we would see Prabhupada for 1 or 2 days or something like that.
Понякога пътувахме до друг по-голям център, за да може да го видим за ден-два.
But I would hear all these stories from the devotees who were getting Prabhupada's association and it tore my heart apart. I mean, I couldn't stand it, you know.
Но аз слушах историите за преданите, които непрекъснато се намират в неговото лично общуване и това разпушваше сърцето.
So I felt bad, you know, supposed to be envious of your godbrothers, you know.
От друга страна се чувствах зле, защото не се предполага да завиждам на духовните си брати.
So I wrote Prabhupada a letter and said, Srila Prabhupada, I have this problem. I'm envious of my godbrothers.
И аз му написах писмо и му казах, Шрила Прабхупад, аз имам този проблем, че завиждам на
Please help me to get over this, Srila Prabhupada.
помогни ми да го преодоля.
And then he surprised me by his answer.
И то ме очуди с отговор.
He said, transcendental envy means
Той каза, трансцендентална завист означава,
when you see someone is pleasing Krishna more than you, then you should try harder so Krishna will notice you also.
като виждаш, че някой удовлетворява Кришна повече от тебе, трябва да се стремиш още по-силно, за да може Кришна да те забележи и тебе.
In other words, if you want my personal association, you should qualify yourself.
Други думи, ако желаеш,
Like they have qualified themselves, now you qualify yourself also.
ако желаеш моето лично общуване, трябва да се квалифицираш. Те са се квалифицирали и сега и ти придоби тази квалификация.
So in this way, if there's nothing wrong if one wants to be the leading devotee.
И в този смисъл няма нищо грешно, ако някой иска да бъде водещ предан отдаден.
But you have to develop the qualities of leader.
Но трябва да развиеш такива качества.
And what is what is the quality of being a leader?
Какво е качеството на лидера?
As the one who gives service to others. The more you serve, that is how you become leader in Krishna consciousness.
Това е този, който дава служене на другите. Колкото повече служиш,
In the material world, the more you lord it over, they call that leader, you see.
в материалния свят, колкото повече владееш, толкова повече ти казват лидер.
But we call that cheater, not leader.
Ние казваме на това измамник.
But in Krishna consciousness, the more you become the servant of the devotees, that is the leader, you see.
Но в Кришна съзнание, колкото повече ставаш слуга на преданите, толкова повече ставаш лидер.
So if you want to be a leader, we have no objection.
Ако искаш да си лидер, нямаме нищо против.
Simply you become the best servant of the devotees.
Просто стани най-добрия слуга на преданите.
And then automatically you're the leader.
И тогава автоматично си лидер.
By your example, by your Vaishnava qualities, you will inspire everyone.
Чрез твоя пример и вайшнава качества ти ще вдъхновяваш всеки.
You don't need some title, temple president, GBC, sannyasi, guru. No title is required.
Не ти е необходимо някакво заглавие като саньяси, GBC.
The one who is most servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant, he is the real leader, the real leading devotee.
Някой, който е в най-голяма степен слуга на слугата, на слугата, на слугата, той е истинският водач.
And he'll never burn out.
И той никога няма да изгуби.
If one takes leadership out of a lording and over mood, over a desire for name and fame, he will burn out.
Ако някой се заеме с лидерство от желание за име и слава, той ще изгуби.
If one takes leadership because he wants to become famous devotee, you see, he wants some name and reputation, he will burn out for sure.
Ако някой бъде лидер от желание да стане най-известният преданен, той със сигурност ще.
But someone who simply wants to see that all the devotees are happy, you see,
Но някой, който иска единствено да вижда, че всички преданни са удовлетворени,
who tries to see that every single devotee is happy,
който се опитва да направи така, че всеки един преданен е удовлетворен,
who takes the problems of all the other devotees upon himself to make them all happy,
който се заема с проблемите на всички други предани, за да ги направи щастливи,
he will never burn out.
никога няма да изгуби.
He will get more and more energy.
Той ще има все повече и повече енергия.
The harder he works for Lord Chaitanya, the more he'll become inspired and energized.
Колкото по-здраво работи с Бог Чайтания, толкова по-ентусизиран и вдъхновен ще става.
Next question. Yeah.
My humble obeisances to you, and each lecture I hear, my happiness is increasing. But how can I control my mood of neophyte devotee to be overly enthusiastic?
Overly enthusiastic.
Not to be fanatic.
Actually, you should become unlimitedly enthusiastic.
Всъщност трябва да станеш безкрайно ентусиазиран.
Why you should put some limit on your enthusiasm?
Трябва да слагаш лимит на ентусиазма.
Enthusiasm is required. Utsahan nistayadaya. The first principle of devotional life is enthusiasm. So you must be always enthusiastic. Why be a dead woman? Should always be enthusiastic. Enthusiasm is not fanaticism. Enthusiasm is required. Fanaticism is false pride. I think I'm better than everybody else. Then one becomes fanatic. Enthusiasm and fanaticism are different things.
Те са различни неща.
An enthusiastic devotee is not necessarily a fanatical devotee. A puffed up devotee, he is fanatical, but not a humble, enthusiastic devotee.
Ентусиазираният предан отдаден въобще не е задължително да е фанатичен. Този, който е надут, той е фанатичен.
Fanatic means no philosophical understanding. That's fanatic.
Фанатизъм означава, че липсва философско разбиране.
He has great enthusiasm, but he has no understanding of what's going on. He's lacking in philosophical understanding. He is fanatic.
Има голям ентусиазъм, но не разбира много добре какво се случва. Няма философско разбиране.
So if you will regularly read every day from Srila Prabhupada's books
Ако редовно четем всеки ден от книгите
and engage enthusiastically in service to your fullest capacity,
и се ангажираш,
you will never become guilty of fanaticism.
никога няма да си фанатичен.
Next question.
Финала невероятно милостив. Финала на смъртта. Той даже казва, че понякога на грешките предемодалните лицастия са сериозни. Кой не трябва да гледа? Предемодалите трябва да гледа сериозно своите грешки. Кой не трябва да гледа сериозно?
Srila Prabhupada is incredibly merciful. And Srila Prabhupada
Srila Baba.
and he says that mistakes of the devotees should not be taken too seriously.
Yes, that's right.
But who is this who was not to take the mistakes too seriously, the devotee or the other devotees?
Yeah. You should take your own mistakes very seriously.
Твоите грешки трябва да приемаш много сериозно.
Prabhupada explains that you should be very strict with yourself, but very lenient with others.
Прабхупада обяснява, че трябва да си много стриктен със себе си и много мек с други.
The devotee should always feel, I am full of so many faults.
Предан отдаден трябва винаги да чувства, че аз съм изпълнен с толкова много грешки.
And therefore he must fall down at the feet of his spiritual master and beg him, my dear Guru Maharaj, please save me.
Затова той трябва да пада в нозете на духовния учител и да му се
I'm so full of faults, please save me.
моля те, спаси ме, толкова съм изпълнен.
That should always be the mood of the disciple, always, 24 hours a day.
Това трябва да е постоянно настроение, 24 часа.
How do we know that?
Как знаем това?
Prabhupada showed that example himself.
Прабхупада показва този пример.
You study that prayer, that song, Adura Duri, all the happy day, that poem, I mean to say. Prabhupada says, save me a fallen, your divine grace.
Той казва, спаси ме, мене падналия.
Prabhupada is saying, I'm a fallen person. I'm full of faults. I'm fallen. Please save me, Guru Maharaj.
Прабхупада казва, аз съм пълен с грешки, моля те, спаси ме, Гуру Махарадж.
Disciple must always feel that I'm full of faults.
Ученикът трябва винаги така да се чувства, че е изпълнен с грешки.
And always beg his spiritual master to save him.
И винаги да се моля на духовния учител да го спаси.
But for others, we're very lenient.
Спрямо другите сме много меки.
We try to see the good in that person.
Опитваме се да видим доброто в тях.
Anything else?
Други въпроси.
Is everyone satisfied now? All questions have been answered. Okay, very good. Thank you very much. You have a question?
Queen Kunti prays for only for miseries,
Yes.
and Bhakti Vinod Quran says that when something good comes, I will use it for Krishna. When something bad, that is my pleasure.
Something bad comes, that is my pleasure?
Yeah, because I can remember Krishna.
And, very good.
To me, these two opinions appear contradictory, but are they really are?
No, there's the same thing. Kunti Devi and Bhaktivinoda Thakur are both pure devotees, so they have the similar attitude, just maybe expressed in different ways. It's the same pure bhakti mood they both have.
Въпросът беше, че Матаджи Кунти Деви, тя се моли винаги да Кришна да изпраща нещастия, защото така може да го помни. А Бхактивинода Тхакур казва, че когато нещо добро идва, той го използва за Кришна. А като идва нещо лошо, това е неговото удоволствие, защото така се спомня Кришна по-лесно. И аз питам дали това е противоречиво. И той казва, не, те и двамата са чисти правилни. Може да е изразено по различен начин, но едно и също.
They're both seeing miseries in a positive way.
Те и двамата виждат нещастията в позитивна светлина.
The materialist, he sees enjoyment in a positive way and misery in a negative way. But the devotee sees everything in a transcendental positive way. It's favorable for Krishna consciousness.
Материалиста вижда щастието, материалното щастие, наслаждението в позитивна светлина, а неудоволствието в негативна. А пък преданият вижда всичко в трансцендентална позитивна светлина.
Okay, our time is up now. There's nothing else. So we thank you all very much. Randaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.